What is up, Javonis? JJ back here with the crew, Kurt, Mangone, Snyder, talking a little PGA Mexico Championship. First of all, I want to just be like, three of you look fantastic. If you look at me, I look like I'm very weathered, very aged today. Just got back from the JIM. Kurt knows what I'm talking about. Snyder knows what I'm talking about. Mangone, he spends a little different time in the JIM around the hoop, playing a little basketball, but nonetheless, we are here. Kurt's clearly engaged. Overall, last week to me was another disaster because I lost another bet to you guys. Like the whole you guys circle jerking each other on bets and me fading when that happens has just not been profitable for me. Whereas last season it was like automatic. This year, not the case.
That's why it looks like you've aged, Uncle. You're struggling over there. You know, it's you got to stop hitting that button. You better start pausing for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I keep losing bets, and it's just ages are the years are just coming off my life every week. But I do expect to come back better prepared next week, in better spirits. Uncle T obviously won't be here for this show, so sad to say. Cue the tiny violin. Hopefully, he'll be back next week. But in relation to this week, or maybe touching a little bit of last week, anybody have anything entertaining to talk on from last week outside of you guys stealing my money once again?
It was an all right week. I took Dunkel money. I took Mangone money. So, I mean, it was a good week.
And the Soldiers had a good bounce back. I know that.
Yeah, they did all right. Yeah.
Love to see it. Mangone, do you have anything to say with you and your little turquoise shirt?
No, I don't know what you have against turquoise. I don't know if your wife's boyfriend wears it occasionally, but I'm just going to say overall, it wasn't my best week, but it's okay. Easy to bounce back here. It's not a bad event. It's also not a glamorous DFS event when you got John Rahm and Tony Finau just sitting at the top and then nobody else. So it'll definitely be a different DFS week. And then, of course, betting-wise, there's always opportunities on the board to kind of take advantage of. So we'll talk about it.
Fair enough. And, Kurt, we don't get you on this show often with showing a little bit of the guns. I do appreciate the fact that we got the guns out today. You got the tight medium on.
Last week was awesome. I cleared over 1,000. Showdown chipper on round 4 helped that, but I had another sweat on round 2. So both days that it was alt shot, I did really well, of course. So it was a good week. I wish I could have saved it for a bigger tournament, but you're never going to complain about like a 20x ROI. So we move on, and excited to be at a normal format. And then hopefully we got Quail Hollow after the week after that. That'll be fun. Really can't wait to play the Royland event. And yeah, let's get into it. Mexico. Also today. How about that?
I will say this, and I know the Kurt, we talked about this before the show with the mic. Getting a little static or feedback static from your end. You don't know if you guys are hearing it too, Mangone, Snyder.
God dang
it. Bit, yeah.
You were good for a little bit, and then had some issues.
Kurt has worse technical issues than like my grandpa. Like, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I don't understand. Like, it's a brand.
My dad's pretty bad with the tech stuff too. I
honestly think Faxman is better with the tech stuff than Kurt. I'm not even joking.
I mean, did you watch the entire 45-minute show he did with the 4 boxes where he was one face and 4 boxes?
I did see that.
That was awesome.
because he couldn't get it out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tough to say. So Maddie, Riley, Scott. So yeah. Anyway. In regards to this tournament, I have a quick question for you guys as we'll go into DFS, but as I look at the pricing myself, if you pick Finau, do you more or less need Rahm to not win? Like, because like it just feels like if Rahm is in the optimal, how do you win with Rahm and Finau in the optimal unless you're taking just punts all around it?
I don't think you can play them both. Personally, for me up top, I'm going to be fading Finau and just locking in Rahm. I mean, when you look at the odds and everything, I mean, Rahm should probably, realistically, I am happy that they finally priced the guy up at 12K, but realistically in this field, I could see him being like 14K in this field.
Fair. So I guess now we'll just start with you then. Oh, well, actually, no, before we even do that, I forgot. How could we forget the course breakdown? But just before that, Mangone, did you want to add anything there? Are you kind of on that same sentiment that you play one or the other? It's hard to imagine an optimal having both.
No, I mean, we'll wait till the DFS side to talk about that. But I'm ready to go. Where's the lotion? Let's get some Snyder course preview.
Yeah. So Snyder, walk us through the course. Do you think?
Yeah, we're down here at Vidanta Vallarta here in Mexico this week. It's a par 71 measuring 7,456 yards. It's going to feature a unique setup here, though. as we're going to see 5 par 3s here, 4 par 5s, and then the remaining 9 holes will be the par 4s there. 2 of the par 5s are going to be over 600 yards. 4 of the par 4s are going to play over 500 yards. So, I mean, you're going to need some distance here. I mean, the fairways here are pretty wide, so you can just kind of grip it and rip it and swing away. I will be looking for guys long off the tee, long iron play as well. I will be putting that into heavily weighting that. The course is going to have that past palm grass here, wall to wall, meaning it's going to play a little slower. The ball typically rolls out less in this type of grass in the fairway, and the green speeds will be slower, right around 11 on the step meter. And with that past palm, this is Mangone's favorite time of the year. The salt levels, they will be higher this week with the past palm greens, so we'd love to see that. 11 holes are going to have water in play here as well. Need to keep an eye on the forecast. We could see some higher winds in the afternoons, most notably. Maybe that's more so for showdown and stuff. But some of the other key stats we'll be looking at this week: strokes gained off the tee with the emphasis on distance, approach, par 5 scoring, proximity 200 plus, and then birdies are better gained.
Can we just consensus agree that the last time Snyder messed up the course preview was probably like Woodstock in '69? It's been a long time since Snyder's flubbed on this course preview. Just consistent great breakdowns overall. And Mangone, I'll kick it back to you because I kind of have some blue balls after our little DFS discussion. Do you see any scenario where you can get both them in, and they land in an optimal?
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. But I will say, Snyder, I like paspalum greens, but I'm a Kikuyu grass kind of guy. That's definitely my number one grass if I had to pick. But yeah, let's dive in and talk DFS. I don't think you're playing Rahm and Fee now together DFS wise. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll just pull it up right now and I'll put both in and see how much money it leaves us. It leaves us 6.8K for our last 4 spots. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to go that route. I think it makes more sense to just pick one or the other. I think Rahm will be double the ownership of Fee now. But at the end of the day, we can get different in other spots. My stand is not going to be taken on the Fee now over Rahm or do something contrarian and fade both. I'm perfectly fine with playing one or the other, whichever one's your preference. Mine will likely be Rahm if I have to pick one, and then kind of going from there. Because if you plug Rahm in, who's actually 12K, which we don't really ever see 12K golfers in fantasy, we're then left with 7.6K for our last 5 spots. There's a lot I feel like you can do with it. A lot of different golfers that you can go to. You are going to see some guys priced up at some uncomfortable tags. You see Aaron Rai is at 8.9. Benny On is 9.1. Emiliano Grillo is 8.5. These are not comfortable tags. You even got Gary Wooderland, dare I say, the 4th priced guy in the field at 9.6K. And then the guy you didn't even know of last week, Dunkel, Mr. Hogegaard, he's the 5th highest priced golfer. So point being, some of these guys that are up in the 9K range, they just shouldn't be. And there's guys that are in the 7K range that are just similar type of golfers that we'll talk about and get to. But Rahm is definitely my number one DFS guy. If I had to pick one, that's my favorite play and the guy that I'm going to. If I had to pick my second guy and my kind of value play that I think is going to be an interesting option. I'm not saying he's sneaky and going to be 1%, but I think he's in that kind of tier 2 range of golfers that is going to get some ownership and is a good play. It's Lanto Griffin. Lanto Griffin got T15 here in the past. He's played here before. Another thing I noticed, and it's kind of been talked about a lot this week, everyone's talking up Patrick Rogers, right? How Patrick Rogers has putted really well on the past solemn greens, and he's typically a POA guy. Well, Lanto Griffin is kind of similar to Patrick Rogers in the way of really good POA player, but now we get on the past solemn greens. It seems like there's some type of correlation there. Lanto has played well here in the past. I'm going to take my chances on him at 7.5K in DFS as a nice value to make the cut and be able to finish with a nice T20 here.
Fair enough. And Snyder, on your end, I know you were talking about locking in Rahm. So who else do you like, whether it's mid-pack at the bottom? Who do you like this week? Who are you going to be overweight on?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on Rahm. You look at Finau's recent history, too. He's really not been playing that good. I mean, I'd much rather have our guy, Mr. Win Ham Clark, for 1,000 cheaper, he's finished inside the top 6 3 of his last 4 events, and you got Finau there barely breaking the top 20. I know Finau did finish second here, and likely he'll be up towards the top, but I think this is a spot where Win Ham could even come through here. But I'm going to be on Rahm. He won this event last year. He comes off the win at the Masters. Definitely like him. And then for a value guy, I'm going to go – you're going to need some salary here. So I'm going to go all the way down to one of the soldiers I had, 6.5K. Uncle's clearly never heard of this guy. Alejandro Tosti, 6.5K. A dude's on the Corn Ferry Tour now. He's been playing good on the Corn Ferry Tour. He made the cut to Sanderson's Farms in his last PGA event. The dude can just nuke it off the tee, too. He's averaging right around 315 off the tee over his last 36 rounds. So Alejandro Tosti is my favorite value of the week.
I don't know if we got Kurt filming his OnlyFans during this show. I just had a little peep show pop in. Separate from that, Snyder bringing up the Tosti. My favorite part about when Snyder mentions golfers I've never heard of is that like he references like stats and stuff that it's like, yeah, he's like Tosti blasts it off the tee. It's like, settle the fuck down, Snyder. If he's that good off the tee, I would have heard of him. So calm the tits down. But either way, hey, look, Mangone, what about you? Tosti in any of your lineups this week?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'll admit I haven't ran too much. I kind of ran things earlier as like a quick run to see what was popping up. And there were definitely some guys that I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but we'll look at later and make the adjustments because again, it's a rough field. The thing that I'm keying in on DFS wise is I definitely want to be under on like chalky players, right? I do not want to have a very when I play these value plays in the 7K range, like there's going to be guys that I just completely X out. Like I haven't seen Patrick Rogers' ownership yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be pretty high. I might just go through and like the top 3 highest owned guys in the 7K range just to X out completely, just because again, I think this is one of those fields where we have a lot of guys in this 7K range. I don't think there's a big difference between them all. So that's definitely something I'm looking at when building out my teams. I'm definitely taking into account ownership for sure with these cheap value plays.
Patrick Rogers is 9.3K though. It's a bummer.
Oh, he's 9.3. Okay. I saw the reason why I said that is I saw him popping a lot earlier and I was like, oh geez.
Yeah, I mean a lot of these I think it's weird with a lot of the projections and stuff, especially for this event. I mean, it depends on they could be pulling stats last 36 rounds, last 48 rounds, last 50 rounds. When's the last time some of these guys have played in a golf tournament? They could be pulling stats from last year in some facts, which is I think why you're seeing some weird names mixed into those optimizers. That's kind of how golf projections I don't think are the best to go by, but they're definitely something to start to look at. Though, do you have any thoughts on that, Mangone? And when you're looking at the projections for golf specifically, if you look at last 50 rounds and you look how many rounds they've actually played this year versus like last year, 2 years ago. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, no, I have noticed that for sure. Actually, the guy I was thinking of, the cheapie that everyone's going to is Luke List, right? I think that's the guy. What's his ownership?
I don't. Yeah, right around 15%. He's 7.8K. So yeah, I could see some people going there. I mean, he's been pretty dreadful this year though.
Yeah, but like people, well, the big narrative here is you don't have to be able to putt here, right? So it's like the perfect Luke List course or whatever. But
let the guy, we need people to pay the rake, so hopefully they play him.
The people are definitely playing him, I promise you. So people will obviously look at some longer term data. I like to look at short term data for some of these guys. Like one guy we've talked about a lot on this show, and we talked about him last week specifically, was Beau Hossler and Wyndham Clark. They've been in really good form. These kind of like crappy golfers, like. And again, like Beau Hossler is not a really good golfer, right? I mean, he's not in the top class or anything like that. Obviously, he's way better than you and I know it sounds like I'm talking poorly about it. But my point being is these guys, we like to ride them out. You know what I mean? Like when they're doing well. Like Richie Warinsky's a great example at RPS. We played him a lot here, but the guy's been awful for a while now, right? But we rode out the streak when it was there. And that's what I like to do with a lot of these golfers here. So I'm down to ride the streak with some of them. And we'll obviously talk about some of them. Like I think Beau Hossler is a great example. He's a little more expensive though this week.
Now, not to call it a redheaded stepchild, but Kurt, I mean, the silence says a lot. I mean, let's start to get some takes here. What are we doing? As far as DFS goes, what do you like in that Rahm Finau situation? And are you pivoting one of them, playing none of them, being contrarian? What are we doing there?
Well, honestly, I don't want it to static. So doing it.
It's not a killer. You're good.
All right, so I'm just gonna do something else after I get finished. But I'm gonna play Rahm up top. I haven't seen the ownership shit. I know Patrick Rogers has been getting touted, so I'm going to do a pivot to Mav. I like Mav up top. He's another guy, just like Patrick Rogers. He likes these pass pound greens. I just like his ceiling more than Patrick Rogers. He had a great stretch in the fall stretch when like all these scrubs were playing. Kind of a similar situation here besides Rom and Finau. So give me Maverick McNeely up top for 9,400.
Now I'm going to stick with you, Kurt, for the your outright. And look, I want to be clear. I know Rom's 260. You can be the guy and eat the chalk. In reality, though, if you think Rom's like a coin flip to win this tournament, I mean, plus 260 is phenomenal value if you happen to think that he's a coin flip to win this tournament, or even 40% to win this tournament. With that said, is there anybody who do you think has the most value? And don't worry about whether it's eating chalk with Rom, Finau, whoever. Kurt, who do you think has the best value to win this tournament at the top?
I didn't have my value play yet for DK.
Oh, I figured that was McNeely. Okay. Because I heard you say locking in Rom. I figured it was Rom McNeely. Yeah, give your value play.
Oh no, McNeely's 9,400.
Yeah. No.
It's another bomber guy. But my long shot bet and my long shot and DK are both going to be crazy bombers. It's Brandon Matthews, actually number 1 in driving distance this year. So don't look at anything else. Don't worry about anything else. Just look at the driving distance, and we'll go with that, Mr. Brandon Matthews. 63, I think.
Awesome, and he's 150. Full value to win the tournament too. Okay, love it. Snyder, I'll kick it to you for your outright. And again, if you're a big Rom guy this week, I know I troll you guys when you take favorites, but it's not often we see this. And Mangone, the last time I remember somebody being this big, Kurt just pulling the Irish goodbye. Oh no, we're back. The last time we saw somebody this big that I can remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I know Rom has been in this mix as well, but I do happen to remember a tournament where Bryson DeChambeau was like maybe 4.5 to 1, something like that, maybe a year and a half ago or so. And I'm pretty sure he won that tournament. What's the approach overall here, Snyder? Who's your favorite outright?
Yeah, I don't think I can bet Rom at that number at plus 220 or plus 240, whatever you're seeing now. I don't think I can do that, but I do like my guy, Mr. Ham here at 16 to 1. He's had 3 finishes inside the top 6. Played well at the Corrales Punta Cana, which is kind of a similar track to this. 5th at the Valero. They were T3. They probably should have won the team event last week. That would have been nice because I had an outright on them at the team event last week. So I like Wyndham Clark at 16 to 1 as my winner this week. If anyone can take down Rom, I think it's Mr. Ham.
Oh, he's 18 to 1 at DK. Mango, what about you with outright?
Yeah, I just want to find out, was that Kurt's phone that dinged like a grandmother over there?
We'll never know.
It was not me.
Gotta be Dunkel, but
it's not. Oh, I don't think it was. It could be. I don't think it was me. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't think it was me either. So I know I got my phone new. So sometimes my new phone has issues, and there's some new things that pop up, but that was not me there. But anyways, so betting wise, I'm actually going to someone that gets some flack sometimes on these shows, especially with Big T. Mr. Two Gloves, Aaron Rye, as we like to call him.
Baby.
Has been playing well. He's got the 2 clubs, he's got the iron heads, but he's only 45 to 1. Like 45 to 1 just feels like a pretty deep number. And I just think there's a lot of value on that. Finished T24 here. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go with him because again, when we bet outrights, we're betting for a guy to win the event, right? We're not betting for his floor. I'm betting for the ceiling and upside that he has. And I think at 45 to 1, it's too far of a number. I think you should be getting him around 30 to 1. I think there's other golfers that are priced above him that I'd be like, yeah, you can have those guys. I prefer Aaron Rye with his number at 45 to 1.
Fair enough. Now we've kind of already given out more or less some value guys per se. I'll be honest, I don't even think we need to go down this rabbit hole of extra value guys. The tournament that's super top heavy with pricing. You gave it 55 to 1. Snyder said he finds the most value on Clark. And then Kurt went like way down the board. Kurt, is there anybody aside from it would be McNeely, right? If you were to take an outright that was closer to the top that's not named Rom?
No, I got Taylor Pendrith actually. Third in the field with the long irons. I mean, the flat stick has not been great, but hey, here, you can kind of get it going. The greens aren't that hard. It's kind of like everyone's up in the air. Coin toss. So give me Taylor Pendrith, 55 to 1 on DK.
Cool. So we'll slide over to T20s now. Snyder, I'll kick it to you.
We can do a long shot.
Are we in shambles,
bro?
we kind of did the long shots. Mangone gave a 55-1. You gave Brandon Matthews at 150-1, if you remember.
No, that was my DK value play. What the fuck is going on?
I'm trying my best to keep the show.
That's okay. I love you.
The ball has kicked in
in a top heavy field. But yeah, I mean, look, if you have another guy that you find value with, Kurt, spit it out.
Yeah, so I'm going extreme, huge long shot. Like I said, my Bombers, Kyle Westmoreland, 555-1 on FanDuel. Let's go.
That's what we waited for. 550-1 golfer.
Yeah, baby, it's just hitting.
This segment should have just been sponsored by a charity instead. That would have been way better.
He's probably 25-1 to make the cut.
Yeah, you can do that too. You can do that. Kyle Westmoreland, baby.
I can't believe I had to stop the entire show so Kirk could give out a 550-1 outright.
Hey, it's more about it's the principle of it mostly. It's the fact that you're just skipping over all the segments.
Kirk, can you hit me with your NHL single game parlay for the night too as well over here?
But no, all good, all good. All right. You know what, Kurt? Because
you
Kyle
Kyle Westmoreland first whoever you took, give me like 8-1 odds. Who did you take?
I'll take Toasty versus him.
What odds you gonna give me? Is it even odds? It can't be even odds. What's Toasty's odds?
Toasty's 150-1.
So you want to do like then make it 6-1 odds? Give me 6-1 odds.
Rom's
That's
not
what it
even
would
that.
be.
You'd realistically need about 4-1 odds, Kurt.
I would take 4-1. I'll take 4-1.
Versus this dude Toasty.
I'll have enough Toasty. I think he'll be in every one of my teams. So.
All right, Kyle Westmoreland season. Let's go.
You know what, Kurt? Because you've already hijacked the show, let's just stick with you for T20s. Who do you like for T20?
I'm going Mr. Robbie Shelton, 11th in trophy and total with the field, just coming off the 15th at the Valero. Another couple of top 25s this year. I like the guy's game. Going to be Robbie Shelton plus 240 on DK. Robbie Shelton.
Awesome. Snyder, who's your T20?
Yeah, I'm going to go with another value I like this week. In the betting markets, Vincent Norman is a...
Yeah, baby.
What happened?
I don't know. Do you have more kitchen work going on?
No.
Or?
The show is struggling today with audio and technical issues.
No, I'm good. Did I go away or something?
I cut it out, but you said Vincent Norman?
That's hurtful. Yeah. Vincent Norman, I like him in the betting streets and the DFS streets as a value. He comes off the top 10 last week in that team event. He looks solid there. He was 16th at the Punta Cana and 21st at the Puerto Rico, which are two kind of comparable events to this. He can nuke it off the tee as well. Hits the ball well over 300 yards off the tee, and I think he's going to do really well here for plus 300 is his top 20 odds.
Good stuff.
Love
Mangone,
that.
how about you?
Love that. Love it.
Who's your T20?
Yeah, I have a plus 330 T20 option. It's Lanto Griffin, who we talked about before. He's already gotten a T20 here in the past. I already kind of talked him up a little bit, but I thought those were really good odds on him at plus 330 over on the DK Sportsbook. So that'll be my top 20.
Perfect. And we'll stick with you, man. Going for your matchup. Is there a certain matchup this week that you like? I'm sure I don't even have them in front of me, but I'd assume anything relative to Ram is like just sick, vigged up.
Yeah, I actually went through the matchups on DK, and that's simply the spot that I bet my matchups on, and I struggled to find one I absolutely loved. So I had to shift over to the FanDuel Sportsbook and look at some matchups over there, which it's always a good to mention. Hey, if you don't like it on one site, go to a different one. There's tons of different matchup offers that they have. And there was one that finally kind of tickled my fancy. I was like, okay, I'm interested in this one. I'm basically betting against Harry Hall. I'm not a huge fan of him. And I get to go for Ashke Bhatia, which Mr. Ashke is a good iron player. Love his upside here at this event. He's also played really well in these like weaker fields. So give me Ashke over Harry Hall at minus 122 on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Gosh, how do you even spell that?
Ashkay, and then Bhatia is Bhatia.
You sure it says? I can't see Ashka, but
he's not a fake. Yeah, it's I have a. It's Ashkay. Yeah,
it's AKSH.
AKSA.
Yeah.
That'll do it. It's okay though. We got it. Overhaul. You said minus 120?
Yeah.
You got it.
Not the easiest to spell. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Really keeping me on my toes today. All of you, by the way, keeping me on my toes today. Snyder, your favorite matchup?
I'm going to go with a guy I had on the Soldier segment as one of my value guys for that. I like Patton Kizzire over David Lipsky here, -118. Kizzire has been playing well, 5 straight made cuts. He's shown some upside at times this year. A couple finishes inside the top 10, I believe, or 10th and 11th, I think, this year, somewhere around there. I like his upside this week as well against Lipsky here this week.
Awesome. And last but not least, Kurt, who's your matchup this week or anybody you're fading?
So I also, like Mangone, did not like anything on DraftKings at all. So I head over to FanDuel and I got Adam Long over Ryan Gerard. Adam Long's good on these greens. Gerard is pretty sure he's not have full tour card yet. He's on Cornbury. He's not a bad golfer, but give me the veteran here. -112 on FanDuel. Adam Long over Ryan Gerard.
Awesome. We skipped through some of that pretty quick. I will say this. That's this part of the show where we give out the MVP award. I think it goes without saying that I am the MVP of this show. This was one of my best shows. One of my best shows to date. We dealt with Kurt's audio issues. Kurt cutting the show off for a 550 to 1. Snyder just exits. Snyder's just done with the show right now because I'm MVP. We're dealing with Snyder cutting out audio mid segment. Mangone's telling me wrong spellings of golfers. It was just, to me, this was probably my best show year to date, and I have a lot of people to thank. Definitely my father. Just so much to be thankful for there, and just in general, thankful for you guys for not all sucking each other off on the same bet, so that I fade it and then I lose more money because I'm already down in the hole like $600. Just trying to fade you guys on this segment. So appreciate you guys not blowing each other on the same bets. So thank you for that. Overall good show, good structure. We missed Uncle T this week, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But either way, that's it from me. Snyder, as far as your final notes, anything for the peoples and where can they find you, and make sure people watch the Soldiers?
Yeah, I got the Soldiers up on Twitter. Go check that out. Snyder210 on Twitter. Got all the content up on runpuresports.com as well. Use that promo code Snyder15. I'll get you 15% off. Got the playbook up, the cash chart up, the cores are up for. We got quite a few people on the cores. I don't know if everybody's up yet, but they will be here soon. We'll have showdown content coming as well this weekend too. So join the movement. Snyder15 for 15% off.
Awesome. Kurt, final notes. Anything you want to add to the class?
Yeah, sorry about the audio issues. I don't know if it's still doing it. I'm going to get that figured out. And then next week, we got a fun event. Can't wait. And we got some showdown content. We did awesome last week, so make sure y'all tune into those shows. And good luck this week, everyone.
Good stuff. And just so you know, Kurt, the audio, it's not like that, but it just has like weird static around it.
That's terrible. That's really bad.
Not a big issue, but probably fixable. Mangone, final notes. Anything crazy? I hope you have some good NBA sweats tonight. But anything you want to discuss?
Yeah, the NBA streets have not started out kind so far, but hey, we got a long night. We'll see how it goes. I appreciate Snyder not throwing me under the bus because my core is not up yet, but it'll be coming soon. It'll be coming soon, so don't you worry. We'll be getting it up there on this site, so be sure to check that out. Our guy Uncle T, always prepared. He's got his stuff up there, so tons of good content for you guys over here at Run Pure Sports. And we got the NFL draft tomorrow. Don't forget we did a show here. It was spread. I think Tyler and Meg, they talked about it, I think, on Tuesday. So you'll check some of those draft props out. Should be a lot of fun. As a Packer fan, it's a new era, right? So that'll be fun to watch. Can't wait to see us draft a receiver, and then all the Packers fans get all upset that, they first time Aaron Rodgers leaves town, and now we draft a receiver. So there'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of draft experts out there tomorrow as well. So be safe in those Twitter streets.
Awesome stuff all around. Obviously, check us all out at runpuresports.com for all the content. And, of course, the betting at Run Pure Bets as well. With all that said, gamble responsibly, stay safe. As always, folks, run pure. We'll see you next week.